They Will Kill You is one of those movies where I finished it and thought, yeah, that was actually a pretty good time. I'm not going to pretend this movie reinvented horror, action, cult movies, or anything else it throws into the blender, because it absolutely doesn't. You've seen pieces of this before, and some of them have probably been done better, but I still had fun watching it, and sometimes that's enough. Before I get into it, like and follow if you're into movie reviews where we actually say what we think. The movie follows Asia Reeves, who goes into this luxury Manhattan apartment building called the Virgil while pretending to be a new cleaner. But she isn't really there for the job. She's looking for her sister Maria, who disappeared after working there, and pretty quickly Asia realizes this building is full of rich weirdos who are part of a satanic family, sacrifice vulnerable people in exchange for immortality. So now Asia is trapped inside a building full of people she can shoot, stab, smash, and completely destroy, and somehow they just keep getting back up. That's basically why the movie worked for me. It understands that the concept is more fun than original, so it just keeps pushing the situation forward. The residents start hunting Asia, and the movie turns into this ridiculous fight for survival where killing somebody doesn't really solve the problem because they're probably going to stand back up a minute later. The immortality gimmick gives the action a fun twist. Normally, if somebody gets shot in the head or chopped apart, that's the end of the fight. Here, it's more like buying yourself 30 seconds. There's even a moment where Asia asks what happens if she cuts them into 1,000 pieces and burns them. And the answer is basically, yeah, they'll still come back. That tells you exactly what kind of movie this is. It's not trying to be subtle. It wants the violence to get absurd. And some of the humor comes from that too. One of these immortal people complains about getting killed over and over because being immortal doesn't mean dying stops hurting. That's stupid in exactly the right way. The movie knows how ridiculous its setup is, and instead of getting embarrassed by it, it leans into it. I also like that Asia has a reason to keep going beyond just surviving the night. Her whole reason for entering the Virgil is Maria. Years earlier, Asia ran when she was supposed to protect her sister from their abusive father, and she has carried that guilt ever since. So even when she finally finds Maria, and Maria basically tells her, I don't need you anymore, Asia still refuses to leave without her. That gives the movie just enough emotional weight underneath all the blood and chaos. Now, is that sister storyline incredibly deep? No. One sister is carrying guilt, the other is carrying resentment, and eventually all of that comes out. We've seen that kind of thing before. But it works because the movie doesn't suddenly stop and pretend it's a serious family drama. It gives you enough to care, then gets back to the insanity. The Virgil itself is probably the best part of the concept. Every floor feels like another problem. The building is locked down, the windows can't just be smashed, and the only skateboard forces Asia deeper into the place. Once you learn this building has been operating as a satanic temple for around a century, and wealthy members are protected while vulnerable workers are brought in as sacrifices, the whole thing gets nastier. Again, none of that made me think, wow, I've never seen anything like this before. Evil rich people, secret cults, immortality, human sacrifice, trap building, survival. Movies have played with all of that. This one just combines those ingredients well enough to stay entertaining. And that's probably my biggest compliment and my biggest criticism at the same time. They Will Kill You is very comfortable being familiar. The unstoppable enemies, the mysterious building, the cult mythology, the family trauma, the over-the-top violence, it all feels like stuff we've been served in different forms before. If you're looking for a horror movie that completely messes with your head or gives you some new nightmare, I don't think this is that movie. But if you just want something fast, bloody, ridiculous, and easy to enjoy, this does the job. Real talk, I think we sometimes punish movies for not being groundbreaking when the movie itself clearly isn't trying to be. This didn't blow me away, but it also didn't bore me. It didn't give me some incredible villain. I'll remember for years, but the immortal residents were entertaining enough that I wanted to see what Asia was going to do to them next. It didn't reinvent the trap building setup, but it kept the building dangerous. And the sister relationship is an amazing character writing, but it gives the violence an actual reason to matter. That's the line this movie walks almost the entire time. It's not great enough for me to call it special, but it's too entertaining for me to dismiss. I had a good time with it. There's enough action, dark humor, supernatural craziness, and momentum that I never felt like the movie was wasting my time. I just also know I'll probably remember the setup more than any one incredible scene. For this kind of movie, I'm okay with that. So yeah, I'm giving They Will Kill You a solid 7.2 out of 10. Not because it does something we've never seen before, and definitely not because it does every one of these ideas better than the movies that came before it. I'm giving it a 7.2 because it takes familiar ingredients, keeps the energy moving, has fun with its immortality gimmick, and gives you a bloody, ridiculous ride that's easy to sit back and enjoy. Nothing crazy, nothing revolutionary, just a solid movie and a good time. If you've seen They Will Kill You, let me know. Did the familiar stuff bother you, or were you having too much fun to care?